Clark, did you ever think that your program would benefit so much from New Mexico State?
No, but obviously I'm grateful for Tim Beck and Jerry Kill and all the players too. I think one of the cool things to me is the commonalities there, the cultural fit, the chip on the shoulder approach. There's a lot about who we are and who they were that made the transition seamless. And so though I wasn't expecting to go to Las Cruces, I enjoyed my visits there and also have enjoyed the impact those guys have made in our program.
What was the connection from Nashville and Las Cruces?
I've always had a great respect for Jerry. I've met him in my, I think, second year as head coach at Vanderbilt. I happened to run into him in Arizona, and just followed their progress. And honestly, it was year 3 where we were struggling through a tough season, and we had a common opponent in Auburn. 2 weeks after we'd gotten beat at home by Auburn, they went to Auburn and won that game, and that drew my attention. I studied that game, and at the time I was planning on just taking a staff visit out there and connecting with Jerry and just trying to learn as much as I could from him and what their operation is. As it turns out, at the end of that season, made some staffing changes that ultimately gave way to some of the progress and success we had this year. So that's how it all came to be. And again, there are no mistakes. I was always respected Jerry. What Tim has done with the offense, I so appreciate, and what the players have brought too has been special as well.
So when you studied New Mexico State beating Auburn, what caught your attention regarding Diego Pavia?
Well, just I was expecting to see someone that was 6'5" and just slinging the ball around the yard. What I saw instead was the ultimate competitor, and that shone through in that tape. I think he threw an interception early in that game and suplexed the linebacker on the sideline. You just saw someone who had the confidence and the playmaking ability, but also the offense. I mean, it was sound, solid, and simple. It was creative without being gimmicky. They were finding ways to put Diego in good positions, both throwing and running. There was a lot to like about it, and it wasn't something that was, I didn't feel like, too far out of the realm of what we wanted to be too. And that was kind of where the draw for me was Tim Beck. Tim and his offensive vision and his play calling ability were the things that I was most interested in. The rest of it came as a result of that interaction and that process.
How quickly did you see the leadership skills of Pavia when he got to Vanderbilt?
Well, immediately, and those skills he's a quiet connector. He builds relationship. He's wholehearted in what he does. He's process driven. All those things, before he was even training with us, they were evident. He joined us in the summer as a team member, and I think the connections he'd built and the presence he had leading up to that point, gave way to a pretty seamless transition to be a team leader, and obviously a guy that was voted captain and a guy that our players believe in. So that impact and the impact of his confidence too as a player, I mean, I think have both paid dividends for us. And there are a lot of guys in that locker room that have contributed a lot as transfers or over the course of years that also create a situation where we're allowed to find a breakthrough here. But certainly Diego's a part of it, and we honor the fact that he's helped us a long way.
How big is it for you to get him back for another year?
Well, I'm grateful to be able to work with him. I mean, here's a guy that can take over the game, and he touches the ball every snap, and we certainly are going to. I think college football benefits from having it back, honestly. I think it's a great thing for our sport. I think it's a great thing for the city of Nashville, who have rallied in support of him, and so we're excited. And obviously, when you're forming a team, you want to try to retain your best players. Well, certainly, that's retaining a guy that's made a huge impact on us. So very excited about it and looking forward to going back to work with him to see if we can push this thing a little further.
Most wrestlers that play football are linemen or linebackers. You got one that's a quarterback.
Yeah, but he plays like a lineman or a linebacker. So you see that personality come through in his style of play. again, there's nothing about his background that doesn't make him exactly who he is. He's a chip on the shoulder guy. He's a junior college guy, New Mexico Military Institute, New Mexico State, always living a life having to prove people wrong. And he's doing the same at Vanderbilt. And I'm happy to see him having success on the stage that we provide, and appreciative of all the things he's doing to help our team move forward.
Last fall, you jumped out to a big lead against Alabama, and a lot of the thought was, well, Alabama's going to come back, they're going to rally to win. You held them off, you got that victory. How big was that for your program?
We have an exceptional group of attorneys that work here. We're all trying to be better attorneys, be better advocates for our clients, be better people.
It makes me proud to be part of the team when I see how much the attorneys care about their clients.
It's truly one vision. I feel like every single person who works here has that same vision, and that's to treat all of our clients like family.
We've developed such a tight-knit team. Everyone is unified in being selfless in their representation.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I think we'll be able to kind of reflect back and at the end of my time and say, here's what that meant for us. Obviously, I think in the season we were 2-2 at the time, and being able to win that game just kind of launched us into a second half where we were able to find bowl eligibility. So it was a meaningful game. And the truth is, we played the identity and strategy, and we made enough plays late to win it. Alabama counterpunched. I mean, they came roaring back, and it was not easy. I was proud of the way our guys continue to step in and do the things they need to do to make the available play and to keep pressure on the opponent. But I try not to single out one game too much, because right now for me it's about building a program, and we were grateful for that day. And again, on the back end of my time, I'll have a little better perspective of what exactly it meant. What it meant for me a year ago was a 2-2 team became 3-2 and got back on track towards the goal we had, which was the mission is winning, and we wanted to play in the postseason. We were able to do that.
Do you feel like in the NIL space that Vanderbilt is capable of competing with other schools?
We'll compete because of who we are, not because we're going to go outspend everybody, and that's okay. We can curate a holistic experience that guys are proud to be a part of. And they feel a sense of belonging in our building. Mm-hmm. That's not going to win every battle, and that's not going to help us retain every player, but we can do enough in providing the holistic experience, in addition to the NIL resources that make it a pretty appealing place to live and go to school and to play football. And we got to keep enhancing the football environment. That's my job. But certainly, as long as we keep our knees bent and stay adjustable, and as the rules change and the world shifts, seems like every day, we'll be able to do enough by being who we are and staying true to the vision we have for success that we're going to be able to maintain at Vanderbilt.
One other question. So Pavia got an extra year because he went to junior college. Tennessee has a basketball player that's suing the NCAA trying to get a fifth year of eligibility. Would you support that for the college athlete?
I'm going to stop short of commenting on the Tennessee basketball player. I'm obviously part of my job is to be in support of all student athletes, and I every day I wake up, I think about how to best set course for our players. But I think there's a lot of changes that we're stepping into as an entity in football and also in college athletics as a whole. And I know at the end of it we're gonna try to iron out some things that make it a little better for the student athlete and better for the game too. But I don't want to comment specifically on that case because I don't know much about it. I'm glad to have Diego back and always fighting for the best possible experience in such a formative 4 and 5 years for college athletes.
Clark, I appreciate it.
My pleasure, yeah.
Right. Lehman Jewelers offers more than 90 years of combined craftsman experience and is the leader in appraisals, estate, and custom jewelry. Kindness and integrity are our top values. Located in Turkey Creek and Maryville, Lehman Jewelers is your hometown jeweler of choice. Come experience the difference. A.G. Hines Company. They've been around for over 100 years, selling building materials since anyone can remember.